And are you refreshed? Yes. Good. You're ready to continue?
I am.
So tell us about winning the lottery.
It would feel extraordinarily good.
It would. It would. Future tense. Now our question is going to be better this time. What does it feel like to be a vibrational match to winning the lottery? Feel the difference? What would it feel like if something that hasn't happened would happen? What does it feel like to be in a place of something happening? There's a distinction that is important. So what does it feel like to be in the vibrational vicinity of winning the lottery? What does that feel like? What does that feel like? How do you feel being there?
It feels that I'm there and I'm capable of doing anything that I want.
Capable of doing anything that I want. Feel how this feels. I'm capable of doing anything that I haven't done before. I'm capable. There's a little defiance in that. Can you feel it? I'm capable. I deserve it. It's defiant too. What does it feel like to be there? It would feel. Still feels future tense, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It would feel, because you see, you and everybody else just about have been facing reality, so it doesn't feel like the place you are. It feels like the place that you want to be, but it feels to you like you need to win the lottery and then you'll be there. But that isn't the way the law of attraction works. You've got to vibrationally be there, and then the means comes. So try to describe what it feels like to be in that vibrational vicinity. Can you feel what we're getting at? If I need it, I'm not there. If I want it, I might be there. If I'm justifying it, I'm for sure not there. If I'm appreciating it, I'm there. If I expect it, I'm there. If I need it to compensate for something, I'm not there. In other words, you have to find a way of working the kinks out of your own vibration. You have to vibrationally be there. Most people say, Abraham, I want to be over there. And we say, well, tell us what it's like to be over there. And they say, I can't, I'm over here. Which is just about what just happened.
Right.
Well, but what would it like to be over there? Well, I don't know. Give me the jackpot and I'll tell you later. You have to stop doing the thing you do that keeps you from being there. And that thing that you do that keeps you from being there is a practice thing. How do you feel about people who are magnificently, let's use a different word. How do you feel about people who are excessively wealthy?
As powerful as living the life that is capable of living a life that they want to live.
Really good answers. How do you feel about really, really rich people? It's important because you're telling us you want to be one.
Sure.
And if you want to be one, then you got to really appreciate those who are that. And most people don't. Most people say, well, I'll be different when I'm rich. I'll be rich, but I'll be nice. But they're rich and not so nice. And we say there's vibrational discord going on in there, isn't there? Some kinks that have to be worked out. In other words, you can't need and be in a place of desire at the same time. They're different frequencies. You can't ask a question and have an answer at the same time. They're different frequencies. You can't be aware of not enough money and be in a place of receiving plenty of money. They're different frequencies. So you have to practice the frequency, and then the winning lottery ticket comes into your experience, you see. So what does it feel like to be in the vibrational place of large amounts of money flowing through your creative experience? What's that like?
It feels great. It feels like a great relief from a lot of burdens.
All right, now see, there it is. Now, you're right, but burden is the operative word. In other words, burden's what's active. You're trying to overcome a burden. And we started there today. You can't overcome a burden because the burden gets bigger when you look at the burden. So you have to not do that. So we're just going to keep harassing you. So are you going to get it in a lump sum?
Absolutely.
All right. Now we want to talk about this because if you are ready, what do you do with that kind of money? Is there a bank you could put it in?
Certainly.
Really?
Sure.
And how much do they insure your money for in that bank? $250,000?
That is correct. But there are other investment vehicles that I could certainly...
Like?
Real estate, bonds, equities, derivatives. There's a plethora of investment vehicles that I could invest in. I'm very well capable of handling that type of money.
We believe you. We believe you, and so do you, don't you? In other words, as he spoke that to you, was he in the vortex or out? So, just in this short conversation, you went from someone who was not a vibrational match because it's something that you feel that you deserve or that you need and it would relieve burden, to someone who owns it, who feels it, who knows what to do with it. Just that much conversation shifted the vibration of your being significantly. Now you're inside the vortex. The money is yours. And we want to say to you, it is. We are not kidding you even a little bit. The work is done. The work is done. Now, what you must do in order to have the manifestation of it is you got to get in the vortex and hang around there for a while. But you don't have to stay long in order to get the feeling of it. And this is the piece that we so want you to hear. If we have convinced you of the reality of this vortex, and if we have convinced you of the rightness of what you've put there and the claim that you have laid on it, because it would not exist if it were not for you and if you had not put it there. In other words, it's there and it's real. If we have convinced you of that, then just knowing it has to give you ease. Just knowing it has to make you proud. Just knowing it has to make you strong and sure. Just knowing it has to make you feel more alive. Just knowing what you've done, because we know what you have done and we are conveying what you have done. If you can know what you've put there and if you can know what you have done and you can lay emotional claim to it by feeling the exhilaration that you can see and you can feel that we feel, we're not kidding you about this. Can you feel the realness of what we know about what you've done?
Absolutely.
We're not just making this up. We are reflecting back to you the realness of what you have done. And when you know it, even to the slightest degree that we know it now, it must manifest for you. But we don't want you to get in the vortex to make it manifest. We want you to get into the vortex because we want you to feel like this. So people say, how you doing? You say, I got my vortex. What does that mean? It means plenty. It means everything. It means everything. It's life. It's who I am. It's why I'm here. It's what I'm about. Don't just go flapping off to other people about it who don't get it, because they'll just think you're crazy.
Sure.
But when you know it as you know it now, and you get in there in whatever way you can. So you're having a good moment. Jerry and Esther were driving. They stopped at a rest stop in the monster bus, and as they were pulling out, a man was getting out of one of the 18-wheelers who was stopped. And as Esther looked at him, she smiled broadly at him, and he gave her both thumbs up. Both thumbs up in appreciation of that beautiful monster bus. Both thumbs up. And Esther, she could not smile a big enough smile back at him. And she wanted to turn on the loudspeaker that she doesn't have what she wants. Take the CB and say to him, this too shall be yours. In other words, anytime you give 2 thumbs up to anything and you feel that way in that moment, you're in the vortex. You are lined up with what you've put there, you see. Very good.
Thank you. I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much.
We have enjoyed this immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain blissfully and eternally in the vortex.
Thank you.